come up with another little, doesn't always do that. There we go. Apologies for being late. I had one or two little technical difficulties, but all resolved now. I'm just going to refresh my page and just check we are live. Yes, we are. Wonderful. So for anyone that doesn't know, I'm Denise. I'm the host of Love Speaks Love, which is a platform to share wisdom, experiences, ceremony. And this evening's guest is, again, Zahara Celestial. Welcome.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
So we've just been chatting. So there's a couple of things that we definitely want to talk about. There is a meeting coming up. What would you call it for Sunday? It's the Temple of Love.
Temple of Love, and it's a gathering. I got asked to gather, and I felt this calling to gather kindred souls, as many as felt resonant, to do a gathering. And I think it's going to be 12 or possibly 13 of us, and we each will just sound, sing, speak, or not speak, resonances of love for humanity and Gaia and all beings, but to bring in a lightness and love resonance. So there won't be much conceptual conversation, or even I'm not, because I potentially could be the host. So, but I'm not. It's just gonna go from one person to another, totally from their heart, sounding, speaking, resonating with whatever their higher self, divine self wants to bring through. So it's that's it. So with 13 of us, yeah. So I called it the Temple of Love gathering. Yeah, so that's nice. Yeah. So that's 8 o'clock.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
8 p.m. GMT, and our clock changes aren't until the week after. So as far as I know, all the clocks have done their thing for now, and it's not until we do ours, I think, that the next changes. We're also going to talk a little bit around, see what comes in, Sisterhood of the Rose, that divine feminine kind of energy. I'm going to do a little short visualization in a moment, and really we're going to tune in during that and see what actually wants to be shared today relating to the energies that are around. Okay, so I'd really love to connect all of our hearts. So I invite you to close your eyes if you wish to, and take a few long and slow deep breaths, breathing in love. And let's breathe out any worries, any fears, any old energies we're ready to let go of. And as we're doing that, just bringing our awareness to our heart space in the center of our chest. And as we breathe in love, just knowing that your heart will expand. As the energy of your heart gets more full. And connecting my heart to the heart of Zahara, to the heart of Gaia, to the heart of the sun, the heart of the moon, and the heart of Source Creator. And I'm just feeling to anchor our energies a little bit deeper with Gaia. So perhaps imagining that we have roots growing down from the base of our spine, from our coccyx and the soles of our feet. And like the roots of a tree, those roots are going deep down into the earth, deeper and deeper down, connecting with the new earth templates, connecting with the crystalline grid of energy. And going all the way to the heart of Gaia. And feeling her love and her supportive energy. And Mother Gaia has all the elements, the energy of all the elements, of all the nutrients, of all the crystals. She holds the energy of everything on the planet. And we can ask for the energies that our body would benefit from now to come up through those roots, fully into our bodies, into every cell. And I'm feeling also to bring in the golden light. So visualizing a cylinder of golden light coming down from source, through the cosmos, into Earth's atmosphere, and down to wherever you are. And so now as you breathe in, you can breathe in that golden light. So with your in-breath, pulling up Earth's energy through your feet and bringing down the golden light. So we're a bridge between heaven and earth. And then bringing our awareness back to our heart space. As we begin to move our bodies, roll our shoulders, wiggle our fingers and toes, and feeling our presence fully anchored in our physical bodies. And if your eyes are closed, opening them whenever you're ready. And I'm really actually feeling the rose energy. Again, I'm not actually smelling rose, but I got a strong visual of a golden rose then. And it actually feels like I want to position myself within that golden rose, like right in the heart of that golden rose. So the Sisterhood of the Rose is an energy that I've been connecting with for some time now. And actually Googling Sisterhood of the Rose was how I first came across Amrita Melchizedek, because she popped up when I did that. And that's one of the ways that Zahara and I we had already connected, but how we met in person through Amrita's Voices of the Light Tribe last year. And the Sisterhood of the Rose is an energy. To me, it represents the divine feminine energy. I associate it strongly with Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary. And the Hathor, and you can probably speak more about this because I think you've connected more with the Hathor energy than I have.
Yeah.
Or Hathor energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that very soft, divine feminine energy. And I was speaking to a dear friend, Jed Riverstone, this Tuesday. And at the end of the conversation, I could really smell rose. And it smelled like there was rose oil around me. Now, I do have some rose oil, but it's you know, the vial is closed, it's in a box. So I knew that it wasn't that oil that I was smelling. And I felt that it was a sign for me that the Sisterhood of the Rose energy was present with me. And the message I got very clearly straight after our chat finished was that they had a message for me, that this energy held a message for me. And I haven't done so much guided writing recently. It was something I did at the start of my journey. It it was one of the ways that I kind of was training my intuition to receive messages and write them down. So that was probably in about 2001, 2002, and I've done it from time to time. So the message I shared today, which was really about the celebration that the higher realms are feeling at the moment with all that's occurring on the planet. And the visual was of sparks of light being activated. The way that they saw things at the moment was that many more lights are being activated on the planet and just suddenly being switched on, and that they're all connected. So they create this beautiful organic circuit board. And the more lights there are switched on, the more lights get switched on as well. It's like the more lights switched on and connect, because they inevitably connect, I guess, with all of them, but I see them at least connecting with the next one. And everyone that's between those bridges of light, the more light there is in that circuit board, the more light there is between the bridges as well. So really everyone on the planet gets touched by that light. So more lights then get switched on. And the message, was really of celebration, of the dancing and weaving of the energy from these lights at the moment. So that was Tuesday, and I was guided to share that as a post this morning, which is on my page if you want to read that in the words of the Sisterhood of the Light rather than in Denise words that I've just done there. Then it's there for the reading if anyone wishes to. Is there anything you would like to add, my dear?
I would like to shift communication into a different state of being. Because as from at the beginning, I felt this very divine presence. And when we speaking of Sister of the Rose, and for me that connects in with Sophia, and we were connecting in with the dragon energy, the source dragon energy of Sophia. Needing more space and time between the words. So there's a shifting of resonance. And I feel that is the dance that many of us have been in with. I speak for me. As we are expanding, we are energetically expanding our physical, if that makes any sense. Because our physical is anchoring lots of our energetic bodies and our timelines and our memories and our avatar selves. That's all a bit irrelevant in some ways, but we are expanding, and as our energetic resonance expands, therefore we can incorporate more. We're holding more because our field has expanded. And so our human aspect, our mind aspect, is catching up with how to resonate, include those energies, those communications that are permeating our physical body. And in the past, I have been around people, and I tried it on, this way of being, that we channel, we switch on and we switch off to external beings' dimensions, but as we're more of us, more of us are expanding as we energetically accelerate and become lighter. We don't have to switch on and off. It's more the mind allowing and catching up with, we are holding that much more. In a way, we're lighter, and yet, as you can see, I'm sort of what in the old way of speaking would be called, I'm like channeling a bit, because I'm speaking much slower, because the vastness of the information that is resonating, that we're being able to feel more, has to get slowed down and reduced in a way, but not in its essence, but like boiled down to the essence.
Kind of compressed, would that be?
Yeah. And it's very interesting, because recently when I've been in, I call it's in the flow, like you probably feel when you're in the flow. Mm-hmm. It can come very fast, because the information, there's a lot of information and there's a lot of enthusiasm. The beings or the dimensions, they're very like, they so want to communicate and be in communication and union. And but other times, I think it depends on the wavelengths, or what are we tuning into.
And the differential as well, that was a word I got with a friend who, sorry to interrupt you there, he kind of struggles a little bit when this higher aspect comes in. It feels quite uncomfortable for him.
Right.
And the word I got was the differential. It's like the difference between our resonance and theirs. So it does kind of get easier the lighter we are, but there is that differential between our energies and theirs, which kind of can feel, so that kind of slows things down as well.
Yeah, I think, well, in something new, because this is something new coming through. So I think that's why it's taking longer, because my mind is like, well, how do I be with that? And this is what was coming through is so vast. It's it's quite abstract in a way. So it's not an it. So even then, sort of lost for words, really.
And would you say it's like packets of information coming in that then we have to find the words to express those like packets of info? It's not quite right, but do you get what I mean? It's like we're given a download of information that then has to be translated into English.
Yes, and I'm finding now that I'm just wanting to go, that my shortcut is light language. But that in way it bypasses all that which I've been describing, because it's there to facilitate, to be within and without, to include all this that we're tuning into. And it is that we're stepping into different rooms, and it's like having to climatize, or it's really bright now, or what's going on here, and then you climatize and like, okay, now I know what this environment is. And it's funny, I've not really reflected on the process, why that came through like that. I just think quite a lot of theory or approaches that certain colleges or teachers and people are very familiar with are no longer relevant, and because we're evolving. And so I think that's why I wanted to share is you, me, whoever might not be doing, and I've said this before, might not be doing anything wrong. It's just trying to find how we resonate, literally. And we're always learning, and the vastness of the diversity of dimensions and beings will have their own resonance and way of communicating, and we're all unique. So yes, there was where the collective was vibing or resonating at a certain place for quite a while. I think collectively we've shifted a lot, and then a lot of individuals are coming online now, lighting up like you described, with more galactic technologies, more ways of being, and saying, oh, this is how I do it, or this is how I resonate. And so the language we've even been using to describe things are like channeling. Some people say, oh, I don't channel anymore, and I can relate to that, because they've incorporated and remembered, embraced so many other higher resonances of themselves. It's not about switching on and off, and it doesn't mean that they're any higher or doing it any better, in a way. So I think I'm and I think maybe a few other people are getting to a point of saying, well, I think we're running out of words, and does that really matter anyway? We don't have to write lots of books and theories on how to do, because that was the old way again. Or you go to this training, you go to this college, you do this course, and then you'll learn how to do whatever. And it's been quite a dance for me on my journey, because I've known that's not the way that I'm going. And then people have come to me, how do you do what you do? And I'm like, well, last week I would have said such and such. This week I can't say that. And I truly believe it's something that it's our true nature to be in tune. But I don't want to feel it's like it's a bit like a cop out saying, well, it's your it's your true nature, so just do it. Or I say, well, I've always been doing it. And then people come to me and go, well, I haven't. I'm like, so it's been a journey for me to share my exploration. So it's like, this is like, taking pictures of the rooms I've been in, and how I've got there, and say, well, this is what I saw. This is how I got there. But I'm sure there's different ways there, but you can try that out, and then you'll probably find your own way. I don't know. There isn't this set way anymore, and it's to do with here. It is to do with here. And it's only until we kind of take these leaps and we experience it. It's not here. So I am feeling we're really in the process of a major collective shift, which is what you're saying, which no wonder the beings, but they're like very like, wow, people are lighting up. And it's just trusting in, for me, it's about letting go of all of everything I've just said, in a way, all that I've been journeying, because all that they've been saying, I haven't needed to say, who are you exactly? Because I work with a lot of whoever's. And they said at the end of last year, you're going to be working completely differently by the end of the year. And now we're going through this process. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling it now. That a lot of us are feeling it now, that we're all evolving. No matter where we are on our awakening, we're all being pushed to the next level or chapter. And it's like, now I'm beginning to feel excited, because before it's like, well, what the hell will that look like? My mind's going, I want it all sorted. Like, well, show me. Well, how am I going to get there? What's going to happen? And I'm like, no wonder they didn't tell me, because I wouldn't have wanted to know what's happening at the moment. It's like, but now I'm feeling the excitement that I have been feeling blissful at other times, and that we're so held, and because I can feel well, we can all feel it's like bloody obvious. So we're all going through a huge change. I'm now no longer worrying about that. Not that I was, but I'm not having to even figure it out. Or we're all going to be in a really different place. We are already in a really different place.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, people who of like saying, oh, I don't feel what my soul path is, and I feel I'm on the cusp of something, I've been waiting and it's not happening. I feel a lot of you out there, if you're listening or will be listening, this is why. Hopefully now this makes sense. And I've said a lot to people, you are feeling on the cusp of something because you're waiting for the collective to make a shift. And now I'm thinking, here you are, this is what I've been talking about. I didn't foresee it like this, but now I'm like, that's what I mean. We're not only on a individual timelines, we're on the collective timeline. So just how you were saying about all the, I don't know why you described it, but all the the links up.
Yeah, the organic circuit board.
That's it. Circuit board, that's it. Yeah. So so I'm feeling this divine feminine source energy coming in of about 6 months ago. Or maybe it was less than that, 3 months ago. Time, I don't know, doesn't exist really now. The angelic realm coming to land, for want of a better way of describing, in Gaia, like a whole dimensional resonance coming in. Then, and so I think we've felt waves of this, of beings, and we've all been connected individually to different, because it's so vast. So each of us have been picking up different pieces of information and going, I'm feeling this is happening now. Someone else will be tuning in going, I'm feeling this is happening now. So I feel there's this divine feminine coming in now, which is huge.
Yeah.
I spoke for a long time there. There you go.
And it's interesting. I've read a lot of the comments on the post. But there's still a fair few to read. A lot of people have been expressing they've either been smelling rose around them, or they're attracted to rose, wearing rose pendants, but are actually feeling that energy around them and maybe haven't been able to put it into words. But reading the post, it's kind of like, okay, that feels like what it is. And in a way that it's been more at the forefront for me recently than dragon energy. Like the dragon energy is still there, and I feel like they're almost what's the waiting in the wings?
Yeah.
Like ready, that they're going to be really busy soon with us. But there's kind of been some preparation that we're all kind of going through, but the divine feminine energy in all its facets, because there's different, it's not like there's just one divine feminine energy, there's many kind of facets of it. But for me, that's been coming in more and more strongly, but just the last few weeks, like really strong. It's like just very, very there, and very clear as well. And it's like my communication with that energy is way clearer than it's ever been. Yeah. And the Hathor energy, so you've been working with that more than I have. Like it's something that's been in my awareness, and once I felt that was the energy that I was connecting with. But it's a fairly, I was going to say it's a fairly new energy to me, and I realized that it actually isn't, but I just hadn't recognized what it was before. So is there anything you want to share on that?
Well, I think that for me that they're two different things. There's my experience. I've had the experience of the Hathor goddess, which was going to the sacred mountain in Wales. As you walk the Cadir Idris, as you walk up, there's a waterfall, cascading waterfall that comes all the way down, and it's just and there'd been lots of rain, so it was like almost like milk. and the Hathor being creativity and mother, and there's different aspects. There's also the Kundalini serpent aspect, but there's the that's her aspect, and she really, that I hadn't worked with her before, and just being in that high vibrational place with that, I mean, it's incredible. So she came through, I just felt all this, and it was the Milky Way. It was the river of light, of the Milky Way, and all rivers. And I just had, oh, this is the goddess Hathor, and all I wanted to do was find images. And it's actually Salvador Dali's image. I don't usually like his work, but his one image of goddess Hathor I really love. And then, yeah, amazing. And then much later, separately, the Hathors came in, who were galactic beings, a collective, and on the most soft, divine, feminine resonance. And so for me, there's a reason why it got the same name, but they were very different. So I think I don't know, that is just my experience. There might, others will probably have that they feel there's a connection there. Maybe the connection was anchored in Egypt, what, like a lot of the galactic beings were anchored. And interestingly enough, aside, talking about the side that's come into my mind, was I had a lot of resistance against ancient Egypt, and then I went to a person in Glastonbury who channels, and I didn't know, she channels Isis, but full on trans in the old school. She does it very old school way, in a way, trans channels. So she's very her, and then she went boom, and then Isis came in, and oh my, did Isis come in. Absolutely amazing. And then she channels Chung Fu, this person who had lived, who's now in a higher dimension. So he's like a bridge, and he comes in. And so through being with her, I then came out of that space with her, and I was instantly transported back to ancient Egypt, because I've been like resisting, because again, it was that time to heal of the fall from divine feminine resonance to it all went a bit kind of patriarchal, and I had a huge reaction, because I wasn't human. I was actually a star being there, and I didn't know I've told you about this. I didn't know what to do with this information. And it's so funny when my ego aspect, my human aspect, it's happened to me twice, has just completely had a tantrum. I literally had a tantrum. I was like getting cross, swearing, don't know what this is about. I didn't want, what is all this? What am I meant to do with this? I'm like total having a tantrum. And so the second time I realized, I'm like, oh, okay. So there were light beings who, I know, including me, in my aspect, a light being in ancient Egypt. So which totally threw me, which then I realized, because it was so real, and it is real. I think when I get and it's not a downer, I revisit that lifetime, and this human aspect of me kind of, it's a shock to the ego, because it's like, what the fuck, it's like, this shit's real, oh my god. And then you're getting all the downloads with it, and I'm like, wow. So there wasn't any there. Taking that in is like, there's not that separation. It's like there were light beings walking around Earth that were seen. The resonance was that high, that was possible. And I think that's what I needed to hear, was the loss of that. But I'm still apprehensive to go back to Egypt. That's why I haven't been back. I don't know how, because it's got a lot of that, the patriarchal imprint there. I think it would bring a lot of memories back. So yes. But what's your feeling of the Hathors then? Or you said you haven't?
Yeah, I haven't really had much connection, but I feel it coming. There was this one connection one time, and I can't even remember the details of it, but the energy felt, I don't know if I can describe how it felt different to say the Sisterhood of the Rose energy. Like when I connect with the Sisterhood of the Rose, I usually am aware of Mary Magdalene energy, Mother Mary, and for me often Isis as well. And there's often dragon energy there too, but it's like I can kind of see those beings quite clearly, and chat to them, interact with them, whatever. And when I first started with this, when I first started knowing that I could feel the energies come into the room, and often I would get, like, it felt like a hand. It felt like my arm here was being touched. So I'd kind of look down and see that I had no bracelets on that particular place. And I could feel lots of tingles around me as well. And I feel I'm just mentioning this in case anyone has been getting kind of sensations like this and is just wondering, what to do with it. And at that time, I didn't really, my clairaudience wasn't very strong. So I would ask, do you have a message for me? And sometimes I get that ringing in my ears, which I think is again like a pocket of information that suddenly comes in. But I would just feel the energy so strongly around me, and I'd feel the tingles on my skin. And I would tend to just sit there with my palms up and just receive the energy. And I usually would cry, like I would feel my heart opening up. And it just felt so beautiful, and it felt like home. So I'm kind of used to that feeling. And the difference to me when I felt the Hathors energy is a difference in the energy. It was more subtle and kind of, it's really hard to put this into words. Finer. Yeah, that would be the word. Like it's almost like pinpricks on my skin, but they were more of them, but finer energies coming in.
Yeah, that's my experience. They're a collective, and sort of opalite is a word that comes kind of sort of, because there's a lot of light, but because they're kind of they very much are a collective, whereas different beings from other galactic resonances, dimensions, whatever, the individuals have very clearly come forward.
Yeah.
Whereas the Hathors are they've kind of merged. they are individual, but they kind of really are a resonance.
Yeah.
And so to me they're very different to all the other beings who are unique in themselves, but they're very in a way can relate to us being humanoid, because they're kind of their own personalities and individuals, and that's why so many people have been able to do portraits of them, and some of us have been them, so they're a bit like how they want to be presented. They say, well, like when I've only drawn a couple portraits, but they said, well, make us a bit more humanoid so that people can relate, and they're aspects of you anyway. So but the Hathors, I wouldn't know where to begin to kind of because they're more of a they're that sort of that they are a being, a resonance that's holding lots of memories and beings, and
Would you say it's a higher frequency of energy, like an even lighter light?
One part says yes and one part says no. One part that says no is because the universes are evolving. So not just Gaia. So in a way, that's kind of our way of looking at things, which is where we are, which is how we are able to interface and understand. So this is them giving this information that so I'm getting it sort of visually. It's quite it feels a bit overwhelming for me in the human bit, that I'm like, what? The universe is evolving, and they're saying you're not thinking big enough. That you talk about Earth having 3D, 4D, 5D, which is again the way that we can understand. So if you can go with that, they say, then go with that, keep extending that. So that same model is happening again and again in your universe, in the multiverses, in the galaxies. So they're, and my humans going, what? And they're going, just let that go. And I've got ringing, just let that go and know that that everything is like that flower of life model everywhere. Why are you why are you sorry, I'm getting conversation. Why are you stopping that? Because you know why you're stopping that, because your humans going, I can't quite contain all that. I'm all right with me having different aspects and vibing at 3D, 4D, 5D. I'm all right with the earth having different resonances and going into 5D. I'm all right now, the moon, and I'm all right with it's like, yeah, well, keep going, just keep going. So that nearest thing is a flower of life or spiraling, and they're saying you're beginning to get a little bit of a droplet of, and it's fine, you're not meant to get everything. And they're telling me to breathe. I'm like, and this is, I haven't shared with anybody, so I'm now sharing with you and then everybody now.
It's only me and you. It's
yeah,
right.
it's only me. Yeah, no one's watching. And it's because it's been hard to put in words, but I've been feeling, which I think my human aspect, which is me, misinterpret, but I know I have signed on, and I know I've had these thoughts from childhood of I'm on board. It's major what's happening and what's going to be happening and is happening, and I don't want to be asleep. Now, I might have not used those words, but it's like I'm here, and I'm not going to, and other people are like, oh, you're young, you've got utopian visions, or you're getting political, then you have to let go of that and get a 9-to-5 job. Well, that just didn't happen to me. And anyway, there's things that were happening to me that I didn't even talk about with friends, parents, whatever's. But recently I'm just feeling that push to go go beyond what is comfortable, really go beyond what is comfortable. And I'm just, and when I was saying about my ego part resisting, that's just been like little, just they've been like, you have experienced this, then experience this, and experience this, and now boom. But each time I experienced that bit, it did feel like boom at each time.
Yeah.
But now I look back on it and think, oh, it's nothing, because it's not like I'm getting like massive vision. I'm feeling more open all the time, but it's feeling now, okay, it's like I want to die, but being alive. It's like I'm going to experience what you would experience if you would die, and I'm like, I don't want that. That's so effing scary. I don't want that. I'm happy being in this body, and I've had this like going on for, I don't know, few weeks, and it's like, and I just push it away. So it's interesting it's come out now, probably because the Hathors and all this whole conversation, they're saying keep going there, why are you stopping? And because then part of me goes, oh, that sounds a bit ego-y. And it's like, oh gosh. But my like you, I'm sure experiences that we that feeling of not being part of, but we are part of, and it's weird. It feels weird. I'm very here. I have my emotions. God, you know it. My friends know it. I have my like, and yeah, I've got all this other stuff going on as well. It's all perfect. I know. It's not a complaint. It's an observation. How extraordinary it is that all this spectrum of experiences is happening at the same time. Yeah. So I'm feeling that dance. I know that it's, and I'm clearing a lot along with everybody else. I don't know, it might take another 30 years, but I'm just like, yeah.
30 months in that regard of what you're saying seems a long time. If we think of the speed of the oh dear, English is really hard. You know, the changes within that have happened and how quickly they've happened, and the exponential, like,
yeah, time speeded up.
Yeah, then 30 months for that to happen seems way too long.
Yeah. I know, that's the human ego aspect, trying to kind of put a time frame on everything. And reflecting back on when the Hathors were speaking, communicating then, that was just great, you know. So I'm like, what's all this restriction about? What's all this resistance about? Because when we just let go and go with the flow, we're held, you know. We're like, you talking about the rose, and the smell of the rose. And I mean, the last time I had it with it wasn't the Sisterhood of the Rose, it was connecting with another goddess aspect with jasmine that flowers at night. I didn't even know jasmine flowers at night, but I was, and it was during the day. Then I get the smell of jasmine, and the information was, this is jasmine. So that was interesting, because that was not too far. So everything, it's all the kind of alignments. But I went off there and forgot where I was going. I spent having gifted with a dyslexic brain. I trained myself to have linear conversations, because I would do that a lot. I would go off all over the shop and forget where I started. And I knew it all made sense, because when I started, I could see all the different parts, but I couldn't get there quick enough to do all the interlinked parts. So I was trying to do it in a linear way, and then I'd forget, because it was just like, where was I? And then I'm like, often people go, I really don't know what you're talking about now. And in that tone, be like, oh, for God's sake. I'm like, okay, linear conversation is what is needed. So I had to really concentrate. So it's so funny now that that's not working now, because energy is being I don't, because that's really was very sort of doing that, trying to constrain the thought and to linear conversation. So anyway,
I've been getting some strange body sensations as I've been listening to you. The first was almost like I mentioned of that, but kind of here before. I kind of turned around a little bit to see what it was, but obviously I didn't see anything. But I just got something just then, just as you were coming to a close there in the back of my head there, like almost like a drilling in, like,
oh, wow.
And then it stopped again. So I feel that as we're talking, there's a lot of activation going on, and it may well be for the people. I would assume it's not just for me and you, that it's happening with the people watching.
My God seat chakra is like really hot. That's what I'm like, my cheeks have gone bright red, because this is like when there's like major activation that got activated, the Kundalini.
Yeah,
that's not been, I'm like, so there's something going on.
Yeah, and this feels above, like it's not as
no
low as that.
No, you didn't point there.
There's something going on here. And as I say, English isn't always working that well.
It's been, we could just do some light language sounding.
Yeah, well, I'll mention first the name, if I can read it, and if I can read and read out loud. Okay, so we're thinking around full moon in April, even though Denise has a little bit of resistance to full moon, another full moon activation, because that last one was so strong. However, I did say I'm not doing another full moon activation. Not until next month.
Now it's going to be next month.
Yeah. So the title that we've been given is The Return of the Dragon Sophia, Queen of the Heavens. So I'm feeling that what is going to come through now in this light language activation is like a bit of a flavor of that. It's like a kind of taster of that. And I've been trying to get, I feel very low on the screen, and I'm kind of feeling that my hands, I wonder if that will stay. I keep doing that and it keeps going back again. I'm just going to slightly lower my tripod because I'm feeling it's going to be quite important to see my hands. Oops. Yeah, that's better.
There's something about a lot with the throat chakra. I keep having to.
Yeah, I've been feeling some tingling around there. Yes, and I was struggling with my clothes before because I was actually feeling a bit cold. And part of me, I've got a sweater on the chair behind me, and part of me wanted to put that on because I was cold. But I knew that the heat was going to come in, and it already has.
Yes.
So I'm glad I haven't done that, and I'm going to undo what I did what I did before, and I might just take that off.
Yeah, no, it's similar. My cheeks are like friggin'.
Yeah, I've been feeling that today. Definite burning up. And it feels like that heat energy is burning stuff away. It's kind of like that kind of Kali energy, just burning away what we don't need. So I invite us all to bring our awareness to our heart space. Halamerilla badalakatukushta barakatikitistorada urtan. Arana makilla korutu ukushta bakatakatikata. Arata kone makaleki hartukudukut lapat atutututututu. Ach kukstarret antatatata. Emaki heradon kukustar. Elihiam paradan tarar kukusht ehia. Hele herdon tol are kikikist are tukum paratakatakatas. Yarle hamburla kiportukutoi tatatata. Hele ki tututlu labarata kiportukust. Yalle kirut ohia. Erataki hartukukokokokokos. Araka maratukukokokulle titititira. Anna mikiti tuhlana kaburt utatatatata. Esterat kumparata kikikikist etetakaka. Han mukulle peki kiko kusti titarana nan la puku kutia. He haratuko kulla paketik baratakitik stak paratitututututututututu. Haratlana nan mekiara to kota kulla patatatuko kotataka kustikra parakatikitikatikarada. Halleki paratukun tabaratakitikatikutuko kasta. Aratika namakileki kiki kust urataka kakaka tutututututututututu. And I just invite everyone watching, if they're actually feeling that they wish to voice their own light language, just to really allow that. Ele hiam parato kuburata akata ist urata tata. Erdo makilla parate kutkudilla parate kutkudika. Ana makilla parata kukudna makaka kakusto tututo. Hal maki herne killeki parata ton parataka. E karatukum parata kiki tututu tata. Heratuko papa 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 papa. Akarakudna makilla kiki kikist urata tata kukukukust. Erdo kun taparlaki kukutuko pakete kitukust arataka a. Hirna herralaki tutulokura paketikitikitikitikitik ik orto.
Eam meke eam moesi amo eam meke meke siam Yes, umea ia ke si ki ko to ko e hamanda te ki si ko kamaka ta ka ko eski amana ke ti ama ati uk e anare ke ti e mo e ki mo ke te ru ko to ko Dui ko ke ki ko ke ki ko ke a ari siena mana koto ko ye sia mano ko shrie ti ke mana kata e aha o tui ki amana ki e aha o kushi mana kato ishta mana ke te a no koto e si ki ata Ayo monokotu kotui si ti oshka manakat ea manakatu komaka ti a ma a do o ki ti a ke ti o oshka manaka a o tuku iki I amana o tuku ko I kat iara at ori kamanaka ti a oshtu poko I amana a ayo kutu o tui ki anana kati ashkoma a e atuku ui ki a ama a e o tuku tui tu Arakat Amarakat it Erakotukat Bakat Erakotukat Arakat Erakotukut Manakat Erakat Arakat Marakat it Erakut Makat Era Makat Era Gambarakat Ayat Erakat Ea Modokut Eramara. Yeah, yes, yeah. You could eat at Muik yes ia moko o iet ia mok o at iarkut or coach iet ananakat iet iarkut uist Muruk it arakat iet amonokot iet yes ot ur Mm. Yeah. Oes iam.
Haratokora tamakahara to kopistita dara to koparta tata orta iara. Hiama hiana kulle baratokon makala. Hele hia brodon tutla pataka post. Hiana hoya. Ho. Olaya. Olaya. Kestete parata kompa. Hia parata kikikikil iarat kompala. Hia me iarat on koko kuist ara iarat iarat ut a. Namerla kibarat o kuist iarat kompa. Kumpalle kiarat on taral. Arlo kudla parata kikiko kuistir lo kuparata. Ile iarat on tudla parata tihia a. Come stare hia juto hia dore te ki ara tu ko de laba ki yesto dui era le ora tona na me hia to dot ai ora lo qui na mai to o ya to hia le ya to na ye kata hole era to koko koi he era to o cost ha era to kompa a he era lo nurta ye ta 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 Kia ora tuku te la pakete kita para kete 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 la pakete kist. Ona me kete la kapara la kete kete la pakete kete 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 la para te te la pakete kete 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 la ki ke stera. Hier man te la para la kete 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 ta 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 ta. Kashtarna ke ko la para te kete 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 para te kete 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 kete. Ara la ma kete la kete la pakete kete 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 ta ta ta. Ara le ne ara to kom ara te kore la pakete kete kete porta ke kostu tu ara la na me kete lokto la pakete kete tu orta ta na kist ja ert ot art na kara la pakast ohon makala ki kist art ot ort harta kokost ara la e ara tu ara le ne me kete para te kete la ara tu stela Here no go do rora tama kedle poret ik ast
was different. I've not had that before. There was lots of galactic technologies and also structures and readjusting, taking out, putting in. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of structures around us, and yeah. So I was aware of sort of this tall presence. So I was sort of suddenly sort of tuning in, like this very light, tall being. So there's so many now, they're all different ones coming forward, and so I've not worked with them before. But there was a lot of taking.
To the party.
Yes, they're definitely coming into the party. Yeah, like they kind of must have. I don't know. Things have been there, yeah, for a while, and they're like, now's the time. So not, so not so much. I think that's going to be coming in on whenever we do that, which is the full moon. That was what was coming in then. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so that space at the back, there was a lot of work being done there. It was like certain frequencies were it was like it was opened up, so that certain frequencies and geometries and as you say, structures could be anchored in. So they were kind of like, it was almost like something happening between there and the God seat area, the medulla, and yeah, some beautiful geometries. And lots of, often when I'm really tapping frequencies into my body quite firmly, I know there's a new frequencies coming in.
Right.
So they're being anchored into being kind of carried and worn in the body kind of thing. Yeah. Just trying to take myself back there. It's always hard to remember afterwards, because as it's happening, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of coming through. Yeah, then you sort of have to keep letting that go in order for the next thing to be coming through, and then it's gone. A bit like with then it's been happening since January, where I would sort of wake up in the middle of the night and have like a huge like kind of releasing or a memory come up, and then I can't remember the next morning, but it was very significant at the time. And I think that's just part of it. But there was, I think last week I did something, and was it last week? I don't know, but there was like a lot of clearing from the hearing, and that was going on again. And that makes sense with all the sound, everything is sound and vibration, and we've had a lot of interference with being able to hear. And I know we don't just hear from here, but that's so there was again, they were kind of doing a lot of adjustment with this, so. And the first time, like a couple of days ago, was it? I actually heard in a very 3D way this galactic communication. It was going right in there, and I'm like, whoa. That was awesome.
And throat as well. Lots of. There was one point when I was kind of going like this and like this, like it was just with one hand. What was that?
Very similar to what I was doing as well.
Yeah, and I think it's because, as you say, we don't just hear with our ears. It's like activating the rest of the hearing.
Yeah,
and I've had this before where it's felt like I'm hearing with my whole head. And even down to here, like you're taking in the vibrations, because I guess that's what it is. It's all vibrations, and our ears, you've got your cochlea in there, but actually the vibrations can go into every cell, and that can be transmitted to the heart for translation, not the brain. I was going to say the brain, but to the heart.
In a way, because everything is vibration and resonance, has a sound, and our body will feel sound, doesn't it? Our body does feel sound, so our body will hear the sound. And I think we're moving from the linear description of the senses, the linear description of how we are living, how we're breathing, because it's interesting, a lot of seems to be circulating on breath work at the moment, I think, and having conversations with a friend about, you know, being able to breathe underwater, and so we are literally, as well as energetically, as well as symbolically, realizing that we don't function in a linear way. So there's more to each of our senses that we know, and we have more senses than we actually experience.
Yeah.
And they all cross over anyway. So you got, you know, individuals who, when they listen to sound, they literally see color. And I feel they're like the more, that's where we're going, all of us, basically. That's multidimensionality, just being expressed in, they call it a condition, but anything that's not normal. But I'm definitely I hear through different ways.
I mentioned to you about activating the gills here.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was in a big activation with the dragon weavers one night, and there was a definite dragon connection there, but it felt like the gills here were being activated. And it's interesting you said about breathing underwater, because it felt like they were relevant to that. And I remember Roz mentioned that one time when I mentioned that she'd known about that for a while, like the gills that you can breathe underwater with, but it's also a sensory kind of organ as well.
Wow.
So
that makes sense.
That fits with that. And I did wonder when I was doing that if that was linked to that again.
2020.
Yeah. We've never said the time online before.
No, we both said it at the same time. That's 8/8 in a way, isn't it? Well, 20 is 8 o'clock, isn't it? And then I kind of thought it was 8/8 for some reason, because it's no, we haven't. Yeah. So, and the next time we'll be on is Sunday at 8. Can go on my Facebook page, your Facebook page, and the other people's Facebook page.
Yeah.
For the Zoom. But yeah.
So I thought it was hard to speak English before.
Even now I'm talking about slowing down.
It's even harder now. Yeah, may I invite everyone to drink plenty of water. That was funny. I went to have a sip before and I was like, oh no, I'm glugging. I need some water. That's good. Well, I'm just going to a little, if I can read.
Are you able to scroll back, because I'm not able to?
Yes. Not saying it's all going in, but I'm seeing words.
The last 2 days have been painful. My heart and God seek clearing and making space. That's Laura. Yeah. That makes sense with the heart. It's a lot of heart clearing.
Yeah.
And then the Kundalini comes to that point to clear a lot of the most core stuff. So that does make sense. Oh, thank you, Marjorie. Thank you, gratitude, tears of joy. And then her message, you just disappeared, but I managed to read that bit of it. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Rosalind. How do we overcome anxiety and fear? Mind chapter. Come to the heart. Come to the breath. It is actually that simple, but our mind keeps us in that complexity, because complexity is drama and keeps us all in the knots, binds us in knots and confusion, and that's the density. So very simply, actually, it is actually simple, but it can be a bit of a thing to get out of the maze, is to then come to the breath, put your hand on your heart and breathe, and remember that is not the whole truth. It might feel that, and it has a validity, and it's not to dismiss those emotional states or those thoughts. It's to, or for me, I had a lot, I had some fear come up today, and with that I realized, just it was more clearing to get in touch, not to force it, it just to come naturally, to ask, is there a memory, is there something from childhood in the past? And what came up was this shame again, shame of being vulnerable, shame of feeling anxious or in fear, because that's a major programming, and that's being released a lot now. So having really, and I know people say it, but I think we come across different layers of it. And again, today it's like, I can feel the fear. And because I'm not holding shame with this, it's nothing to be shameful about having that feeling. And because I didn't have holding with that, because my parents weren't able to hold their fear, let alone my fear, it was, stiff upper lip and all that. So it's like, well, they were unable to, so I am able to. And then it went. I mean, I got very lightheaded and thought I was going to faint. I'm like, whoa. And what I did was come to my breath. Then I got, what is this? With a gentle opening, questioning, what is this? Oh, I have such shame. And that's actually, so it isn't about the fear even. So there's always, having curiosity. And I think with all that's been happening, and I know we've purposely not wanted to, not wanted to, but we've kind of, there's so much else that's coming in. It's a gift, because so many people it's coming to light. And when we say love and fear, that's what's been coming to light. And so it's the opportunity to hold both. That's what's being shown. And so I was like, oh my God, I've managed to move through something really quickly today.
Yeah.
Which is extraordinary. And because of that, I feel it's rippling out to others. But I mean, I've been practicing this for years. Come back to the breath, don't listen to the mind. But now it's in a much easier, lighter way. At the same time, it's coming up very rawly. Whereas before I was like living through stuff and it would take a little while to try and sort it out and have to breathe and blah, blah. Now it's like straight coming up to feel it, really feel it without the shame. So yes.
Yeah, nice. And I think, yeah, I would just reiterate what you say, that it's okay to feel fear.
Yeah. I know that feels like a dichotomy, but it is.
As a starting point, like, not just think, oh, I'm fearful, try and get rid of it, like we often do with pain or whatever, but actually allow ourselves to feel it. And I had this the other day. I'd not really been feeling fearful, and then I received a particular message, and suddenly it was like, whoom, and it came like that. Like, it didn't start in my solar plexus like I would imagine it would and radiate out everywhere. It was like a whoom up my body, and suddenly I was in it, and it was so intense and so strong. And I was like, whoa. But I was still able not to just be in like a panic with it, or be completely, I was allowing myself to feel it, and I was kind of embodying it, but I was also observing it as well.
Yeah. That's the key.
And then, I was able to kind of work with it. And I thought, I'm being guided to welcome this. And that was really hard to do. I could feel resistance at first to the idea of welcoming that fear into my body.
Yeah. Because it's there anyway.
Yeah. But to actually say, okay, you are welcome, and kind of ask a little what it was doing there, and allow it to be there.
Yeah.
And thank it. And then I chose to focus on my breathing.
Mm,
And
mm,
box breathing is something, because I'm doing a foundation breathwork course at the moment that Benedict Beaumont is doing. And it's, yeah, I can't remember the name of his website to check it out, but it's a really, really, really good course. And there's lots of different forms of breath work as well that they go into. But the easiest one is the box breathing, which is breathe in for 4, hold it for 4, out for 4, hold it for 4. So it is like a box. It's 4,
yeah,
4,
yeah.
4, 4. At whatever rhythm feels right for you. And if you find, just keep coming back to your breathing, keep coming back to your breathing. And before I knew it, it was really slowed down. And I was like, I'm not in fear anymore. And I wasn't trying to get rid of it. I was just
Yeah,
focusing on my breathing. But in
yeah.
that, the fear kind of dissipated.
I mean, if you got extreme, because you kind of asked about panic attack, extreme, you breathe out. What I do is I breathe out really, really slowly.
Yeah.
Which is like the counting. And then I pause for as long as I possibly can before I breathe in. So you naturally go, breathe in very deeply, because when we're anxious up here, we're breathing up here and it's quickening. And so it speeds up the heart, and it moves the adrenaline, and it becomes like a loop, because then our body is saying, I'm adrenalized, therefore I'm frightened. This is the body is adrenalized, and therefore is saying fear, fear, fear. And then your mind says, yes, I'm frightened, I need to be frightened, my body's frightened, and it becomes a loop. Yeah. So you need to break that. It's a physical thing that happens, chemicals being released. So once you know it's not just in the mind, it's actually you're feeling it physically, because you are. You just go breathe. You can use the box breathing, or I do the breathing of very, very slow, and then also to limit the oxygen. Pause until I do the next in breath, and then breathe in, and then pause, and then breathe out slowly and count. And it just helps to realign the whole system. You can calm down, get in your body, you ground. It's grounding, and so that's again heart and breath. So yeah, that's thank you, Denise.
Thank you, sweetheart, for another amazing transmission and call. So the information is already out there for the Temple of Love on Sunday. You can find that either on, I shared that today, and it's also on Zahara Celestial's page. And keep an eye out if you're interested for the Return of the Dragon Sophia, Queen of the Heavens.
It's not just hold on to your socks. I think hold on to everything else. Yeah.
And this is about our embodiment as well. This isn't feeling to me it's necessarily an external return. It's like us returning to that space.
That's what I was thinking, because I kept on getting the image of wearing a crown.
Yeah.
Each of us wearing like that golden resonance, which is the antennae, our natural divinity.
I did wonder today when I was doing that, it almost felt like that kind of crown energy, like the kind of halo kind of thing. Yeah, and gold. I did see it as gold. So thank you everybody that's been with us on the live and who will watch on the replay or on YouTube. I don't think of anything else.
No, maybe it's sort of come back to breathing with the heart. You can do that again, which you do so lovely. So we always remember that when we're holding one, we hold the other as well, and remember to we are love. Everything else moves, transitionary, trans I don't know. It's all shifting, whereas love is eternal, and is, if there is a truth, that is it. and we just come back home to our hearts and our body.
And on that note, before we close, I do just invite us all to put our hands on our heart space and say to our beautiful hearts, I love you. I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Oh, I could go on and do that for hours. I just might. Okay, I nearly forgot. I was like, I'm doing a Facebook Live. How do I switch it off? But I'm doing it on Zoom. That's why. Oops. Where are you? There. Okay. So thank you, everyone, from our hearts to yours. Love, 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 love.